Another problem with the prohibition of drugs is the way people acquaint to drugs is they might have to do it under the stigma of feeling like a criminal instead of feeling like someone exercising their inalienable rights and their rightful liberties to experience something that might be pleasurable. The pleasure then becomes something secretive in a perverse way because it's criminalized and you carry that stigma, and then you might succumb to the criminal underculture's degenerate perspective on drugs instead of like an established scientifically oriented mind acquainting themselves with the potentialities of the mind and human experience. Then you're doing something in operation of stigmas brought onto you by culture, branding you or casting you aside as a criminal who just wants to get high. But we are a species that intoxicates itself. Getting high is a natural inclination. Stimulation is a natural inclination. You see the cats prefer catnip. You see that I think jaguars do DMT. You see that elephants and monkeys will drink alcohol. And the list likely goes on. We don't have to carry a social stigma and be seen as criminals. We should be seen as people who simply want to explore the potentialities of our minds with all intent on fun and good and wholesome recreation. And be careful whenever you approach a potentially addictive substance, but don't make the excuse and say that your addiction is because of substance. Addictions are overcome by people all the time, and this leads anyone to see that habituation and dependencies and addictions is not the needed be status quo of relationship to altered states. People can use these things monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, and you'll see people doing perfectly fine and perfectly well with their relationships to their experiences. So being cast aside in a criminal light is abusive on us. We are a species that intoxicates itself from time to time. Whether you say you do have interest in it or not, everyone likes elation, everyone likes thrill, everyone likes recreation, everyone likes sex, and everyone likes enjoyment to higher states. And there's no reason to feel shame or like a criminal or carry some stigma as some sort of renegade drug enthusiast. You know, you're just everyone shares longings for experience. Those experiences, that longing for experience and those experiences are provided by the world of chemistry. Like for instance, with Alexander Sasha Shogin and his method of discovery in the world of molecular chemistry was focused on altered states, and it didn't do disservice to him. He and his wife were having much empathic openness, heart, heartfelt experiences of emotional highs, spiritual highs, and that should not be removed from anyone's plate. You know, those who desire similar things, are due them simply by way of being born here in a place where these plants and these fungi provide such things. So let it put the focus on education, and you will not see addictions. Put the focus on better substances to use too. Maybe some people will prefer something addictive and euphoric, but maybe some people will prefer the non-addictive ones, which are also equally as euphoric, and they are not addictive. Like psilocybin, LSD, they don't have the potentiality for physical addictions like the other ones do. And you can put a focus on emphasizing the ones that are more virtuous and less, and people have less susceptibility to forming addictions with, you know. And so there's a mindedness to planning out how to approach the regulation of these substances and the education, but it needs to be guided along in a chamber of discussion for when we start introducing really actual profound, the wholly profound experiences to mankind, instead of chambering them in tobacco, caffeine, and alcohol culture, you know, and religious, and the endless organized religions. And so it's time for a cleanup and a reassessment of our values, and a reassessment on how we're treating our fellow man, and a reassessment on the loving thy neighbor, you know, judging not, you know, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do you want to carry around a stigma as a criminal? Do you want, just because you have an interest in God's green plants and his non-toxic neurogenesis causing edible fungi? I don't think so. And so it's important and needs to be discussed, and it can really dramatically change culture, dramatically change the way we see our fellow man, dramatically remove the criminal underground, dramatically remove degeneracy when you're promoting substances that involve oneself with empathy, with care, with openness, with conscience, with consciousness, with wisdom. You know, it can dramatically improve and clean up the criminal underground. You know, kind of put a focus on those substances over cocaine, methamphetamine, and the seductive ones can be pointed out as being potentially overly addictive, though with full legalities and completely capable, completely open to public availability, full availability, but also pointed out as potentially anyways,